Father, I know this time is coming.
And good morning to Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Hard Talk. My name is Sheldon Scott.
And I'm Devon Romain.
Yes, and you are listening to Hard Talk. Yeah, the systems was kind of down, you understand? It was a system of a down. Yeah, you had the internet went out last night. Yeah. The electricity went out last night, so kind of shut down everything all over, right? Yeah, so it had studio shut down, it had internet shut down. But the internet is back up and running, yeah. No, the electricity affected us, yeah. Not too sure how bad it affected the internet in studio. Yeah, so good morning to all of you listening via the various radio stations. 89.5 CRFM, good morning.
And 97.5 City Songs there in River Road.
And 92.9 Sister Isle out there on the beautiful Sister Isles of Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
Yeah, and don't forget already 94.9 We Vibe Radio in Brooklyn.
Yes, indeed. And saying a special good morning to all of you joining us on the live this morning. Just remember to like and share the video. Yeah, like and share the video this morning. Yeah, that's very important to know. Yeah, you have to like it and you have to share it. Don't just like it, don't just share it. Like it and share it. All right, nice, beautiful. And of course, the phone number is 440. That's 440-7377.
And 347-329-3101.
Yes, indeed. And let me say a special good morning to you, Joel. I'm seeing you and Kathy and Hannah already on this morning. Joseph, William, yeah, Devon, yeah, I see you there too. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I'm seeing all of you on this morning already. And special glorious Grenadian good morning to each and every one of you. Nice little sunshine, rainy kind of thing. For those of you not on the island, yeah, we're having a little bit of both. Different places, different. Well, you know Grenada already. It's rain one side, sun one side. Bottom line is we're beautiful for so. We don't mind. We're taking it like that.
Beauty mark all over.
Yeah, so we're taking it how we get it. Nice? Yes, indeed. Yeah, and I wonder, boy, let's just touch this song because there's so many gifted people. I think we have to touch this one for them, man.
It's that time again for partying. Start the thing, give me the leeway. Back and start on the freeway. I'm feeling as if it's my day. Very unhealthy vibes and come alive. Because we give steady, yeah. Cannot be enough level. But the people demonstrate if I'm on top of all. Because we give steady, yeah. Somebody tell them for me. They can train me in.
And we have a call online. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm not Tree.
Hey, sir, how are you?
Listen, my brother, I wanted to clear up that issue. Because everything going on now saying that they take out 50-something votes in New Hampshire. But I wanted to clear up to make people know that part of New Hampshire is part of Northwest.
Yes,
so I wanted to touch some light on that, my brother.
No problem. All right. Yeah, we're going to deal with that one in a little while, man. We're going to deal with that one in a little while. Don't worry. Yeah, because we know some people, they like to grasp at straws. So they're trying to grasp at any straw they could grasp on. Whether it is a 2-inch straw, a 12-inch straw, a 14-inch straw. Whether it's a straw that only a quarter of an inch. They're grabbing at straws. So let them grab at straws. Yeah, they want to grab at straws.
Invisible straws.
Maybe they think we're afraid to speak about that. In fact, watch. Let's get into it right away. Now, I haven't seen any letter or anything. I haven't seen any letter, and that's the basis I like to start on, having seen for myself what was written, which is why I would like to take a couple minutes to try and find it. If it has been posted, to try and find it. And let me see exactly what it is that was said. I think that is only fair to both Devon and me, that we could see what was said before. We can't go talking on something that we haven't seen. Yeah? But I understand the context where they're trying. But let's see exactly what was put out first, yeah? Now, give us a 2 minutes, let me find it.
Time again for partying. Start the thing, give me the leeway. Back and start on the freeway. I'm feeling as if it's my day. Very unhealthy vibes and come alive. Because we give steady, yeah. There cannot be enough level. But the people demonstrate if I'm on top of all. Because we give steady, yeah. Somebody tell them for me. They can train me in the chain. We need no time at all. Bring him up. I summon you know to play mass. Yeah, what we say. Don't come and grant us no favors. We money there and all on our keep up and stay back. I'm still waiting on nobody. Set the stage I like as I reach the place, get your vibe. Oh, someone we alright. It's grooving all night. We feel really energized. Well, who bring it all up? Every man is gifted in his own right. So sing out to make your hands and they fly. Because we give steady, yeah. They cannot be in a play. But the people demonstrate. They come out to perform. Because we give steady, yeah. Somebody tell them for me. They can't train me energy. But there's no time at all. See your life in me. Get them take that from me. Call me king of Dubai. I got the remedy. Let's jump up in harmony. Happy for all of us. Just believe it. Motivation, all of us need it. We check, book and you will feel it. Rhythm up. Imagine a life without music. How will you feel? Man, just like a fish out of water. How will you breathe? Once we feel the heartbeat, we have no choice but to flood the street like a heavy downpour of rainfall. With momentum, look out for we set the stage and like as I reach the place, get your vibe. Hey, someone we alright. It's grooving all night. We feel really energized. Well, who bring it all up? Everybody.
Right, nice. Yeah, you know, that's how we operate in Hard Talk. We ain't talking from thing and we don't know what we're talking about and that kind of thing. And we had to talk about that aspect of things in a little while. Yeah, so there is a letter here. I'm seeing the letter. And as is being said by the NDC, I'm not seeing any letterhead on what is posted. Now, what is posted and what they actually have may be two different things. But I'm not seeing any letterhead on what has been posted. So I'm simply seeing a letter to V. Nazim Burke of Mount Gay, St. George. It says, "Dear Mr. Burke, I wish to inform you that the persons whom you have made objection to have been investigated by me. I wish to inform you that the persons whom you made objections to have been investigated by me in the New Hampshire area. Based on my research, I have found that these persons are residing in village of New Hampshire within the St. George Northwest constituency and are registered in the St. George Northeast constituency. Attached are the names of the persons you submitted, which I have investigated, and there's a list of names there." And then it goes on to say, "The following persons at the time of registration were residents of Annandale within St. George Northeast constituency. However, certain, I wouldn't call a person's name on air, is now residing in New Hampshire within St. George Northwest constituency. His registration number is, for my investigation, so-and-so, whose registration number is so-and-so, moves from village to village. In light of the fact that these persons should be registered in the constituency in which they reside, the above-mentioned persons should be informed of same and encouraged to be registered in the appropriate constituency. Thank you for raising concerns. We look forward to working together as we seek to uphold the laws that govern this process. Yours respectfully." And it's signed by the registration officer for that area. Nice? Yeah. So simply this. How do we know all these people are NNP people? How we know these people are NNP people? And even worse, quite a significant number of these people were registered in the years 2012 and 2013. In other words, under the time of the National Democratic Congress, when they were in charge of the entire process. In fact, the vast majority, I would say close to 60% of the people we're talking about here, were registered in the year 2012. In other words, 2 elections would have passed with these people's name on the list. You know what that says? If the NDC was concerned about these people, that says that their organization is near to nothing. You telling me a person been on the list since 2012 that you have an objection to, and it's only in 2018, 6 years later, so that list with these people's name has been around for 6 years, and you only find out that these people are in the wrong place in 2018, just before a general election, like literally days before a general election. So what happened in 2012 when the NDC was in office? Because it means that these people were registered in 2012. Out of the list of 53, close to 60% of the people, they were registered under the time of the NDC. And they blame it on NNP.
So then, if they were, the election of 2013, there were no objection to these persons, right?
No, and the NDC was in office,
Yeah.
The NDC, National Democratic Congress, would have been in office up until February of 2013. And some of these people are also 2013.
And you had the officer in charge or the supervisor election was Ms. Judy Benoit. Okay, at that time. So there were no objections in 2012 or in 2013 before the election. You had 5 years basically between 2013 and 2018 general election of March 13th. Why in February or January?
And notice, only 40 people were registered in 2017. 4 out of the names that they have there. 4 out of the 50-something names.
So I'm to 2014,
and then
15,
2014
16.
and 2015 had 1 or 2 people registered as well.
No, I mean the complaint. If you were so thing about what was going on.
It means that the NDC organizational structure is a failure. It means that their organizational structure is a failure. And also they're tagging each and every one of these people as New National Party supporters. How do they know these people are New National Party supporters?
How do they know that?
They went in the polling booth and vote with these people, or they have some means or measure of finding out if these people are supporting the New National Party. All of these people could very well be NDC supporters. They could very well be NDC supporters that decided that, look, there is no possible way to beat Dr. Mitchell in St. George Northwest, and therefore we are going to register in St. George Northeast to try and help Brother Burke. How do they know? I mean, the thing is, sometimes when somebody commits a crime, the first thing they do is they call the police. Yep. Yeah, somebody commit a crime and they're the first one to call the police. And they're offering all the advice and information because it's them that do it. So they're giving you advice and information to send you in another direction. But folks, the majority of these people were registered in 2012 and 2013. The majority, in fact, is over 60%. You know, that more look like 70% of the people were registered in 2012 and 2013. So, also, New Hampshire. And we have to understand New Hampshire. The village of New Hampshire is part of 2 constituencies. The village of New Hampshire is part of St. George Northeast and St. George Northwest. So simply saying that the person is registered in Northeast but they're from Northwest doesn't quite cut it. It's which part of New Hampshire they're living in. Yeah, it's according to which part of New Hampshire that individual is living in. And for instance, it can also be situations that a person was living in one part of New Hampshire and moved to another part of New Hampshire and just decide, well, me ain't going and change where I registered already, me ain't going and change that I registered. I mean, it's easy for me to just go across the road and vote and that sort of thing.
It's across the road business, you know.
Yeah, it's across the road
most
business.
Of these constituencies are bounded by either roads or the river or something.
What it means, though, that these individuals waited because they know they was going and lose. They knew they would lose that constituency. The NDC had a good idea. They knew for a fact. The leadership of that organization knew they were getting a shellacking earlier this year, and they knew for a fact that they would lose the St. George Northeast constituency. So all this information from since 2012, all of a sudden, it's like newfound, like, whoa, the NNP was trying to hide this from us. But they were in charge in 2012. It's the NDC that was in charge in 2012 when the majority of these people were registered. They ain't telling all of that, though. They're giving you all other bits and pieces of information, but they're omitting major pieces of information. And, Bertel, I'm saying all of this, quote-unquote, from a, yeah, the document is signed. There is a signature to it, but there's no letterhead to it. Yeah? But the vast majority of the persons that we're seeing on the list here as registered were registered in the year 2012. And we know what was going on in 2012, eh? Yeah, men was leaving party, men was getting push out a party. Parliament was closed. All kind of titivation.
All kind of things.
The new electoral system was rolled out. Would have been the end of 2011, 2012. New electoral system was rolled out and that sort of thing.
Ooh, computer went missing in
the computer went missing in Northeast.
St. George's.
Northeast is where the computer went missing.
Up to now, that's the most invisible computer I've ever heard of. It had to be tiny, like a grain of sand.
That's the same constituency that the computer went missing in.
It just disappeared.
And now they're trying to flip everything and say it's the NNP. How do we know that these people are NNP supporters? How do they know these people are NNP supporters? Why can't it be that they know that there wasn't a snowball chance in a hot oven? Yes, you know a snowball do have a chance in a hot oven. I ain't go say the other way that I say it. A snowball, okay, a snow cone. A snow cone at 12 o'clock on Granan's beach sand.
Melt.
They know that Ali Dowden didn't have a single chance, not a chance, of beating Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. So how do they know that these are not NDC people that abandoned the northwest side and decide that they would register on the northeast side to support Brother Burke, to try and save the NDC political leader? How come it's a case that it was the NNPites that all of these people is NNPites?
Because remember, in 2013 election, Tobias Clement defeated Nazim Burke. Defeated him. So, in my view...
Who was thinking that Toby was going to beat Nazim? I mean, we NNPites...
Exactly.
We knew that the man would lose. I mean, we knew that the man would lose because... that was based on you doing your proper canvassing and your proper electoral work. You're going through, you're checking, you're doing your canvassing and so on. So you would know if they were doing proper canvassing, they'd know that I get it the other day, but they didn't know that too. Anyhow.
But over the 5 years, between 2013 and 18, right? I mean, Tobias Clement have been victorious in that 2013 election. The support for him in that last 5 years grew and grew immensely. So I can understand that kind of equation as to that 50-something votes. That couldn't make the difference because he was gaining support every year as it went by up until March 13th. So I don't know. They just, at least
the other part of it is simply by saying New Hampshire does not mean that a person is in the northeast or northwest constituency. New Hampshire, part of New Hampshire lies in St. George Northwest. Part of New Hampshire lies in St. George Northeast. A mother, father, and the child could be living in the part that's St. George Northwest, and the child turns 18 and is registered there. Not too long after they turn 18, the father could give them a spot further up the road where you have a piece of land. They go and they build there, and they ain't even realize for themselves that they're now living in the northeast. So it's not like some people willfully went and do this thing and it's some kind of mechanism set up to do it, and a set of people went and, what does call it again? What do you call it? There's a name that's called it again. But a set of people just went and decided that they go in and register in the wrong constituency and that sort of thing. You may be registered in a particular constituency and you're registered in that constituency, and then if you're renting, you move from that constituency and you go to another constituency and a general election comes up, your name is on the list, in that other constituency, so you go and you vote in the other constituency when you may have been living over 12 months in another constituency.
That happens.
It happens. So to try and give the impression that some people went out and purposely do an illegal something and they went out there and it's a set up thing and all kind of thing, absolute unequivocal nonsense.
But look, having identified those 50-something persons, right? I'm speaking like, for example, on NDC. But having you identified them, why you and your team, over the couple of months before or when, right, you think, couldn't have gone to those persons and say, look, you have changed residence in terms of east or west. It is the right thing to go and register where you're living or whatever. Have they done that? Have they made any attempt to educate or sensitize people about doing that?
No, I've been involved in politics for a little while now. Not as long as you, but I've been involved for politics for a while now. And you know, as a political organization, if you're doing your work on a yearly basis, or by annual basis or every 6 months or whatever you're doing your work. Yeah, if you're doing your work, it would mean that somebody who registered in 2012 in the wrong place would not still be on the list in the wrong place in 2018. Yeah? So if you had a problem with that individual being on the list since 2012, you should have said something. Not wait till a few days before the general election to try and make it an issue for after the election when you lose. It's like the set egg.
Yeah.
You know, back in the days when Uncle Gary them going on a meeting and Devon them used to go and set egg. Yeah, they used to go and put it. Chun chun, what they used to call it?
No, the Uncle Gary people like to pelt set egg at.
All they used to do it to them too.
At the jewel thing. I've been a little bit biased.
Where you put the little bucket, and you throw old cabbage and egg and thing to rotten.
Oh,
and you leave it covered on.
And then you crack the egg, you
then
shake it and
then you wait until when the other side having a meeting and you open it. Chemical warfare. What? Chemical warfare is to take place in Grenada, you know.
Nothing gonna stay around there, you know. Not even ants on the ground stay.
So take dead animal and egg and cabbage and all kind of thing and put it in bucket and leave it to rotten.
But that was
days
fun,
before they know it have a meeting. As soon as it had the meeting, they just uncover.
But that was fun back in the day because you do it as kicks, and so sometimes you used to stone political parties, and so I mean as fun.
No, oh gosh, no.
No, I'm telling you that
kill people with that.
Yeah,
but we don't go back to them days.
But it wasn't the best thing to do.
We ain't going back to them days.
Right?
We ain't going back to them days. We good. We've been there, done that.
Yeah.
We learned from that. We ain't going back.
Yeah, we have been through a lot of these things.
Devon, say good morning to Brenda.
Good morning, Brenda.
All right. Okay. I hope you know which Brenda you say good morning to. Right.
Well, hey,
but
all Brenda is Brenda, you know.
But definitely, I think that the office though needs to do a little better than that. You can't send a letter with no letterhead. Especially something of that gravity. You should send it on a proper letterhead. Even if it's not on a letterhead, I hope at least the envelope it came in was a marked envelope that says whatever office it comes from and so on. So at least even if it doesn't have a letterhead on the letter, which it should have, that at least the envelope. But we wouldn't know. Yeah. But and you see, you all only hired them people was registered in 2012. All your that registered. Yeah. In other words, they register under all your government.
Yeah, so you should know. Because as a matter of fact,
and with Miss Judy Benoit as the
and the thing is, when
supervisor of election,
every quarter I think, right, you have a list of new registrants coming out and everything like that. So if you're doing your work as a political organization, right, you must know who are the new persons that are registered, where they live in, where, you know, and everything like that. Hey, that shows the poor level of organization of that party after 2012.
But you think we're teaching them too much today?
Well, I mean, they don't have a choice. Right now, they're starting back from scratch. So any little advice you want to give them to steer them on the right thing, you know, might be helpful. We all Grenadians, you know, and we really want to see their contribution being made, and so, you know, in Grenada in a positive way. You know, take them away from the negative vibes, and so, you know, it's just,
let me say a special good morning to Jojo. Morning, Jojo. Yes, I know how to make sting bomb. My grandmother told me about it. Before my grandmom went to the great beyond, she told me about that one. Chemical warfare in Grenada.
Watch, we had all sorts of experiments between 1972 and 79. Right? You had, I mean, and just before 79, it turned violent. Right? There were a number of violent, you know, things.
You see, that's why I don't want us to go back to them kind of thing.
That sort of thing. We you know.
And we keep with politics how it is. We okay, sort of talk and thing.
But hey, the warfare shifted, It's on the airways and on social media right now. So you see, as time goes on, you find different types of political warfare going on, right? Because you see how parties attack each other through social media and the airwaves, and so it's, you know.
Yeah. But let me give some advice. I know some people go vex. I will get called. They'll say, "Don't give no advice. What are you giving advice for?" But I will give advice.
We can't help you.
As a young guy, I was looking on at Brenda Batiste this morning. Brents, if you're listening, good morning to you, my dear. If you're hearing us wherever you are, right. I was looking at her this morning with the young Senator Ron Redhead on with her this morning, and I need to give a piece of advice to the young gentleman. if you don't know about something, the best way to approach it is to say nothing or simply say, I do not know, I will find out.
Yeah, no comment.
Because I heard him speaking on Grenlec and saying that the reason that Grenlec price is going up and Grenlec price up is because government has so much taxes on the fuel. Hello, the government of Grenada has absolutely no taxes on the fuel used by Grenlec, the Grenada Electricity Company, to produce electricity in Grenada. Let me repeat that again so you all could tape it and replay it. Yeah? The government of Grenada has absolutely no taxes on the fuel used by Grenlec. Yeah, government doesn't tax that. Remember the other day they were saying that they ended up in court with it. Somebody had to pay. I can't remember if it was the station or whoever had to pay. Where they did a story saying that Honorable Gregory Bowen had a company, and he company was who was selling fuel to Grenlec, and that is why the prices was. So you remember they had a story like that. And I think is one of those stations ended up having to pay because they went and they had to retract. Yeah, they ended up in problems because it is simply not true. So they're trying to give all kind of impression like if it's the government to blame for the price of the electricity. That is not so. That is not so. Yeah. And in fact, Grenlec gets all of its fuel through the Petro-Carib agreement. That is why Grenada is one of the few countries. Recently, Venezuela takes some people off of the Petro-Carib, you know. They removed some people from Petro-Carib recently, but they did not remove Grenada. You know why they did not remove Grenada? Because Grenada is one of the only countries that upfront and straight to them when it comes to payments and everything. Grenada don't owe them no pile of money here and this and that and all kind of thing. Grenada has been on the level with them. Yeah, when other countries had been defaulting and so, not Grenada, because all of the fuel that's sent to Grenada under Petro-Carib is used by Grenlec, and government there are no taxes on that. So to try and give the impression, so if the goodly senator, like our friends will say, if the goodly senator doesn't know what he's speaking about, then I encourage him to go find the facts, because what he was putting forward there is totally untrue. Yeah, and the government has been involved in encouraging Grenlec to go to alternative energy. In fact, the government of Grenada received, I think it was around $2 million from the New Zealand government. Prime Minister Mitchell was coming back from a Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, would have been back in 2013, 2014. And he was asked by the New Zealand Prime Minister who met him, and he was so excited he finally met Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell from the island of Grenada. He asked him to come to New Zealand and review their geothermal sites where they use geothermal energy for electricity purposes. Dr. Mitchell went, and then he gave to Grenada a grant so that Grenada could investigate its potential to produce geothermal energy, which is why a couple years ago you had a bunch of fellas going all over in areas like between Baltazar and Mount St. Catherine, checking the different areas with hot springs and so on, to see the possibility of Grenada producing geothermal energy. Yeah, it's also been the government that's been encouraging, and Grenlec on its own has ensured that they put in solar panels. If you look in Queen's Park now, you realize they have solar panels, a solar plant. They've also, I think, embarked on one on Dusty Highway, and they're also moving towards putting some others in other locations.
They have one somewhere in St. David's.
Yeah, they're trying to do some solar panels around, because they'll be able to produce a significant amount of electricity from solar and therefore have to use less fuel, which eventually could make the cost of electricity go down. Now, the geothermal exploration that took place with the funds from the New Zealand government, that was completed, and it found that Grenada does have the capability to produce geothermal energy. Yeah, in other words, produce your electricity from the heat of the earth. So Grenada does have the potential to produce, not enough for the entire island to cover everything right through, but enough to make a significant contribution together with solar and other means of producing clean energy, that we could stop using as much fuel as we have to use and get the price of electricity much lower. If you didn't know that, well, today you know. Yeah? Nice. That's if you don't know, not because you carry the name senator in front of your name, means that all of a sudden he's an expert on everything. It doesn't. Yeah, you have to ask questions. You have to go and research, go and read, ask questions. Don't just take one person's word for something. Look for different sources of information and see what you could find out. But not because your name Senator Phil, you could answer every question that's thrown at you. You're young. That's the only reason I'm giving you the advice. All right? Nice. Okay, Papa? Nice. Mami Nigel? All right, good.
Not mouth open and word jump, but do your research.
Yeah, do your research.
The young people of this nation is depending on you to I
don't want to see bad for the youth.
Yeah, you know.
That's why I will give you that advice.
Yeah,
not because your name run Reddit and you have senator before it means that all of a sudden you know everything. No, go and research. All right? Nice, good. 4407, you take some calls, man. 4407-377 and you oversee?
347-329-3101.
Yeah. And Grenada also has a plant in Plains in St. Patrick. I just get that message as well. Yeah, in Plains. I wonder if that's a solar plant that they have up there. Yeah, Plains in St. Patrick. I wonder if it's solar. Let me send a message and ask if that's solar. Yeah, Grenada for themselves, they are trying to cut down the price by introducing alternative energy. Even if you're going down by Sugar Mill there, you realize the testing out the wind vane kind of thing. Yes, it's a solar plant that they have up in Plains St. Patrick's. And they're checking out the wind vane and they're checking wind energy as well and that sort of thing. So they for themselves recognize that using fuel is the wrong way to go. Right? I think we have a caller online.
Good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning, Brother Devon.
Good morning,
Thank
ma'am.
you for taking my call.
Morning.
Good morning, Senator Sheldon Scott.
Good morning.
Yes, what I want to say about that 2012 election. No,
The election was in 2013. The election was in 2013, Ms. Jacob.
Eh?
The election was in 2013, not 2012.
28, yes. Go right up to 2012. But it's 2012 now.
Okay, you go ahead. Let me see if I understand what you're saying. Go right ahead.
Give me that card. Okay? Those rest a card, they have a blue card. They say the blue card no longer raining again. The blue card now to thing and Jacob. They say they don't want Jacob. You hear? They say they don't want Jacob. They want me real title. I don't understand whether they didn't want me to vote, but they think I'm stupid. I get the thing from a heavenly Father. My adopted mother know that is Miss Williams. I was working at Miss Williams. So, you know what? She gave me a affidavit. You know what is an affidavit?
Affidavit, yeah, I know. I know what's an affidavit, yeah.
Right. She gave me an affidavit that I could get. That time I was going to Jamaica to get a passport. No, what she do? She gave me an affidavit for the blue card, the blue ID card. So, what she do now, I vote with the blue ID card, right? So, I go to vote now on 2012, the 19th of the 6th month, 2012. Papa, when I reach up, the lady make a smile. I see she smile for me, I smile back, give her. But I already know what they coming up with. They say, Miss Jacob, I wouldn't have you at that surname. I want your surname when you was born and when you're christened. Your christened surname that I want. I want your mother's surname. I say, you want my mother's surname? Well, I work with it. They think they hold me. They can't hold me. I come up the road with everything already. I know about politicians. I know they can't hold me. So when I reach now, the other lady, I see she face, the lady face, as if she is sucking a sour mango. Like if I the sour. She couldn't remember. She couldn't stand me. They find her looking.
Okay, Ms. Jacob, let me not go into all of that. The bottom line is this. Because whether a person like you or don't like you, let's not go into all of that. This is public radio. We don't need to go into that. Let's try to keep it at a certain level.
I get my card for 2012 to 2020.
Right.
So that is it. That is it. The NDC and them, the wicked, especially St. David Group.
Let's not say the wicked. They are Grenadians just as us. All right, Ms. Jacob. Let me leave that aside. Because I know many people who are members of the NDC in St. David that I know, I talk with, I lime with, I eat with.
Well, yes,
we hang out together, and they are good people. They're not wicked. They're my friends. They just happen to be they just happen to be in the other party. But then it has some. Oh gosh. Boy.
Yeah, but they didn't want me to vote. So it's a good thing I just stuck to me Heavenly Father anytime I had to go somewhere.
The other thing is that Grenadians need to make themselves aware of what the rules are for election day, which is why Devon and myself took the time to explain carefully to persons before the 2018 general election what the procedure on election day is, and before the 2013 election. Myself and Ian Edwards did the same thing for over 6 months before the election because we weren't sure when it would have been called. We made sure on a daily basis we told people what to look out for, what to do, what the registration process entailed, all of that. So in both instances, 2013 and 2018, we did our job. We made sure people knew what their rights were. And the thing is this, once your name is on the electoral list on election day, you have to be allowed to vote. If somebody has to get your name off, they can't get it off on election day.
No.
They have to get it off before.
Before, yes.
They get it off before they do their due diligence and they do their work, and they get your name off before.
Yes.
But once the date of election comes and your name is on the list, you have to be allowed to vote. You're a Grenadian with a right to cast a vote.
Yes.
And they have to allow you to vote on election day. They have to get your name removed before. If they have an objection within a reasonable time frame, they have to have that removed from before.
I don't see how far they go. They
you
go
also,
quite long and more than I know.
also, you do not need to have your voter's identification card necessarily. Some people may not have collected it. Some people may have lost it. The main thing for you to vote on election day is your name being on the list. If you have some other form of national identification that can prove, or the persons who are there can verify that you are who you say you are, then you can be allowed to vote. So all this thing about modern name and all kind of thing, that's we start time. By the way, you have a good day, Ms. Jacob.
Yes, darling, brother, everybody, I have a nice day. God bless you all and I love you all.
All right, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
440-7377. Yeah, NDC telling you everything except the people was registered under NDC. Everything except that the people were registered under the NDC. That's what they had to talk about.
So, so I still waiting for them to tell us the 50-something persons who did they vote for.
Yeah, we have a call on the line.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning. Hi, good morning.
Yes, brother. I will speak to Comrade Sheldon, please, over the air when you get a chance. Thank you very much. Okay, return a call to this number is urgent.
Well, I'm not seeing the number, so you will have to call me after the program immediately.
Okay. All right, brother. I will call you after.
As soon as we're done, because I have to head out. Yeah.
All right, thanks.
All right. No problem, sir. You give me a call as soon as the program is over because I had to go today. All right. 440-7377. We have a caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, is this the radio station?
Yes, you're live on the program.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, I have a question. I live in a particular area. However, when NDC 5 for this last election, my name was on the electoral list very close to where I live. However, this election, my name was in another polling station. I did not give any permission to have it moved. So I'm just trying to figure out how come that, it was done like that.
In some instances, it was done like that when some polling stations were merged. There were some polling stations, some places that people went to vote before that were moved and some were merged. And as such, it caused them to shift some people from one polling station to another. Like they created some new polling stations, or they get rid of one totally and they merged two that existed into one because they found, well, okay, just 50 people for here, that don't make sense, the expense to set up a polling station. So best we merge, instead of having A, B, and C,
Right.
we're going to merge A and C and get rid of B.
Okay.
So then they just had one instead of the three.
Okay.
Yeah, so in some, that is what may have happened in your instance.
Okay, thank you.
All right, my dear.
There are also other instances.
There was some announcements about that before, because it happened in town too. You remember in town, I think it was along Lucas Street there. I think one of those were either removed or merged with Heinz or some sort of thing took place there. Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, there are other instances also too where it's typo error by the electoral office, right? And if as an individual you know that, let's say you are custom voting in polling division A, and then for some reason you see your name in polling division B, you have concerns, you go to the electoral office, you find out what is the situation. Because I know this last election, I had a daughter, she was registered, I mean, in one area, but she voted in another polling division. I mean, she didn't identify it as quick as possible, but she was allowed to vote, right?
Because once your name is on the list in that area, you have to be allowed to vote.
You have to be allowed to vote. And so sometimes it's just a little error, sometimes again, because of the merger of the polling divisions and so.
But it says about a lot about political party organization. Because if you have identified 53 persons, and out of that 53 persons, you could tell close to 30 or so of them are persons that were registered since the year 2012. These persons were registered 2012, 2013, which would be before the 2013 election, which would be under the NDC. So the NDC as an organization has failed. They have failed. These people have basically been on the list for the last 5 years, 5-6 years in some instances.
I think they were more,
and they had a problem with the people being on the list where they were.
I think in 2012 they were more preoccupied with the leadership struggle and the expulsions and that sort of thing, and maligning persons than to pay attention to the whole organization, and so in preparation for the election, because they were on a campaign around that time to basically wipe out certain persons from the NDC. You understand? Get rid of them, and so on. They were preoccupied with that, so things like that just slipped away from them. They didn't have time to pay attention to these finer details, and that is what could cost you an election when you're not properly organized on the ground, and know what needs to be done. Then hey, you pay the price. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, my brothers.
Good morning, sir.
And you all drop it like it's hot, just like R. Kelly say every day. But I like the way it's been dropped this morning. I don't know if it is because of the temperature. And I like the advice that you gave to Mr. Redhead, because I was really trying to get in on that program this morning to tell him to say exactly what you said. If you don't know, man, you are a young man, you are a brilliant guy. When you don't know, you understand, leave it alone. Because it can get you into trouble. Now, 2 questions I have here. The letter that has been talked about, is it authentic based on what you know?
I can't say, because as I said, I didn't see the letter until when we're doing this program. I've heard about it, and I looked at the letter. There's no letterhead. There is a signature at the end of it. It seems legit, but I would think that anything coming out of the Parliamentary Electoral Office or one of the sub-offices would carry at least a letterhead or be in an official envelope.
That is exactly what I'm thinking, and it would not look good on their part, and the NDC. If it's authentic, it is very unprofessional. I find coming from that office. That's one. And if it's not authentic, I think it looks very bad on the NDC part, whereby they don't make sure that something like that is authentic before they go with it. Now, with the names that has been spoken about, based on what you're saying, that these people were registered in 2012.
Well, quite a significant number of them. I dare say as much as 70% of the people would have been registered in 2012, 2013. So they would have been registered under the NDC period.
Okay, all right. So, to an extent, we can debunk the notion that it was some kind of a malicious strategy involved to dethrone Mr. Buck. Now, let me quickly get into my most substantive point here. And I want to say to my NNP brothers and sisters, don't get angry when you hear them. One, when you have a party, when you have a dying party or a party that is already dead, it's painful. When you have a party that can't find a leader and another party that revered their leader, it's painful. When you have a government that is successful and one that has failed, it's painful. When you have a leader that resigned because he said the mountain is too high, and another leader that goes to the top of the mountain, it's painful. When you, this is my real point here. Listen, brothers and sisters. When you look at what was done to them with a kit, and now we are preparing the slingshot, and they don't have a Goliath, it is painful. So when you hear them venting, don't get upset. Because if they don't vent, they might just go up to Granny Tang and have a glass of Kool-Aid, and we don't want that. Have a pleasant day, my brother.
Enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Thank you.
Junior, in the Granny Tang house. Good morning to you, my brother.
I finally does look for all kind of confusion. You know, you this man does look for all kind of confusion. Yeah, hey, Devon, I've checked it. 30 out of the 53 were registered under the NDC.
So
30 out of the 53 were registered under the National Democratic Congress with Miss Julie Benoit as the supervisor of election.
You're looking at about 5/8 of them.
That's who were registered there.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah, so and you're blaming NNP?
Yeah, well, hey.
That was registered under you. The same time that the computer went missing, under you. These people were registered under you.
Wow, that one slipped under them.
Yeah, that one slipped under the radar.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hi, morning, Sheldon and Devon.
Good morning, Tammy.
How you all doing?
Oh, we good.
Allow me to say good morning to Beverly. Bev, good morning in New York City. I hope you reach back home safe.
Is she gone already?
And thank you very much for everything. And Patty and Matthew and in Canada and Mr. Zingo and Mr. Watson, his wife. All my friends, Grenadians that is living in New York and in England and in Canada. Good morning. It's a beautiful day in Grenada today. Right?
Yep.
Sheldon, I want a message to the Prime Minister. So I don't know if his press secretary now is listening to your program as I'm his branches to tune in. That we would like to see the Prime Minister. I would love to see you, sir. To have a face-to-face. We're missing that. Because there's a lot of things I personally want to talk to you about. And you have other citizens that think that we want to talk to you concerning Grenada. So if you could have a face-to-face with us, with the people in the town of St. George, in Bushes, you are there, I would love to see you. Because there's things that is what I need personal with people that are doing in Grenada. And people talking. People is talking about it, sir. So we just for a secretary in the Prime Minister's office is listening. Could you please tell him that Mr. Sheldon Scott would like to have a face-to-face again because they do have a face-to-face. And you could have talked to them and tell them what I know. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would like Sheldon, you could send a message to them that we could have it face-to-face.
Okay.
There's a lot of things on the bus terminal here too. That is what I want to speak about it. Right?
All right.
Okay.
And a lot of other things. Right? So we could see and speak to him face to face with the people. That is my plea today.
All right, my dear.
That is my plea today. That's just bothering me.
No problem.
Right. Have a good day.
All right, darling. You take good care.
So outside of the office days on the Tuesday and the Thursday and so on, you want the face-to-face meeting. And usually what happens though, Cami, I know that those meetings usually take place right after Carnival. After Carnival, Prime Minister usually does around-the meetings. We had it as face-to-face. We had it during the time of opposition. We had it as Caravan and Hope. In government, you had it as face-to-face. I can't remember the last name we had for it. It comes about by different names from time to time. But you have those series of meetings. And I know usually after the Carnival is when you would do a first series, and then it would come up to budget in about later in the year, you come up to budget. And then to begin the year, you do another series of meetings.
Also, too, what I noticed with Prime Minister Mitchell, around the holiday seasons and so, just before Carnival, he usually makes his rounds around the different parishes, the towns and so, you know.
Prime Minister, our Prime Minister doesn't move around more than me.
You know, walk about and so. So, you know, most of the times he go through the bus terminals, the markets, walk around the different stores and so in the different areas and so. He enjoys it. You understand? So, hey, that might be one of the opportunity, Cami, that you may get within the next couple of weeks. But out of that too, hey, Sheldon will relay your message.
Yeah, definitely. Right? Morning, Kish. I saw Kish listening wherever she is.
Yes,
Once Lakeisha Grant is anywhere near a radio or a computer and she's not in an urgent meeting at this point in time, she could be listening. Yeah? Hey, folks, just to let you all know as well, the new National Party, and this just goes along with what we just been saying, the new National Party, they're opening their sub-office today. That'll be their St. George Northeast Northwest sub-office. That'll be opened in New Hampshire today from 5 p.m. So the media, you're invited out to that. That's please have your equipment set up by 4:45. So that's from 5. That's going to be happening at 5 p.m. today. So the NNP Northeast Northwest sub-office, and that's because New Hampshire straddles both St. George Northeast and Northwest. So the party is opening a sub-office in New Hampshire that will be open today. So my friends up in New Hampshire, you all will make a look up pass. As they tell me a sub-office in New Hampshire, they didn't say exactly where in New Hampshire. So somebody who listening up there from the team up there that knows, all you give I a call and let Devon and me know. All right? So all you will give us a call. But that's happening today at 5 p.m. Media have your equipment set up by 4:45. So that's this NNP Northeast and Northwest St. George sub-office. So they have one office there. Because of the size of Northeast, you have an office quite down in one area now. So they have an office up there for the top part. Nice. So there. And then for the part of Northwest, that is New Hampshire. And down Sawa side, the part that might be in Northwest or Northeast. Sawa, I don't know which part Sawa is. And if it's in Northeast, Northwest, Sawa, so tie up. Anyhow, part I look like it in one, part I look like it in the next one.
One Sawa I know is in Trinidad.
Boy, you will know Sawa down. Don't worry, one day I'll bring you down. You will know Sawa down there too, man. Yes, 4407377.
And 347-329-3101.
Yes, good morning to you, Chrislyn. We hope that you're having a wonderful day today. Sherman Stedlin, we see that you have joined us. And we say a very gracious Grenadian good morning to both of you. Denise, careful when you're passing by them vehicle and they say heat over there for so, you know.
Hannah and Chris, just leave me alone.
Yeah, they say there's some serious heat over there. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Scott.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Romain.
Good morning, man.
I'm laughing. Sawa is both northeast, northwest.
Yeah, I had a feeling one side of the road is northeast.
Yes, one
like
side
the
is
top
northwest.
side is northeast, the bottom side is northwest.
Yes,
Sawa.
both sides, left and right.
Why you call it
In
Sawa?
going down, the right is northwest and the left is northeast.
If it's one person I know this area, like the back of your hand is you, eh?
Yes.
You who teach me where Willis is.
Well, I used to do campaign and walk in the whole field.
Okay.
Walk in the field. I used to walk in the whole of northeast from New Hampshire to Mardi Gras St. Parts.
Wow.
I covered that whole 9 PD areas.
Oh.
Yes,
So why they call it Sawa?
Well, you know, the young guys give it a little name. It's a little area for itself, lower New Hampshire. So it's just called on the Sawa.
Tell people why they call Willis, please.
Willis, because of one area. A man had some lands Mr. Willis, but he died. So the name just remained for the whole big area, but it's proper New Hampshire.
Okay, so it's really
you have
New
Hampshire
Hampshire.
Post Office, you have New Hampshire Medical Station. You see? It's the whole area, northeast, northwest, is New Hampshire. But because of this area land, and this man had his lands, and his name was Mr. Willis. So that's how the name come and stay for the whole area, but it's New Hampshire.
Okay.
Yes.
So what they're calling Willis right now. Not the whole thing is really Willis.
No. It was just one little area where a man had some lands, and his name was Mr. Willis.
Okay.
But the name just remained for the whole big area.
All right, nice.
Hampshire.
Okay,
now,
my
where
dear.
the sub-office will be opening this evening is right around the crossroad by the McBoney shop.
Okay, I know which part.
You're right. There is a water pipe just off the shop, right there, in a little inner road. A little inner road on the right-hand side.
Okay, I think I know which part you're talking about now. Is the same McBurney shop?
Yes,
I think I know.
Mr. McBurney shop as though going down to Granton, but just off the shop. A little inner road. You know where is Mango?
Yeah.
Where it's between the crossroad and Mango Road is a little inner road where the Marish live, where Ted Charles is downstairs, Ted Charles' house.
Okay.
That's where that area is opening this evening.
All right. I hope I finish my meeting in time to make that meeting.
Just around the crossroad area.
Okay.
All right.
All right, my dear.
Yes.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye-bye. Yes, you see, we don't have anybody listening hard talking. You see, all the learn thing today. Yeah, only learn that Willis is not really the whole big area. You know, Willis is really a little street, a little small part.
Yeah, it's a little area.
Yeah, but it's called the whole thing Willis.
Yeah.
Yeah, after Mr. Willis.
Yeah, that football team and all is called Willis Youths.
What you talking about, Willis?
So.
4407377. That's 4407377. Give us a call. Yeah, let us know what's going on with you and so on. So remember, that office is opening in New Hampshire today. The new National Party, they'll be having that office opening in New Hampshire today. And remember, on what do you think, boy? On Saturday's football, cricket, yeah, cricket, football done, yeah.
Football done.
France win already with the African team, yes. Oh boy, France win already. We still have not got my friends over in Vector Control. I'll let you tell me about this week. Yes, and here's what. Email it to us on hardtalkgrenada@gmail.com. Yeah, you don't have to necessarily come up here and drop it. You can email it to us on hardtalkgrenada@gmail.com. All right? Nice, beautiful. All right, let me get them a little piece of tune now, man. Wait, fine. We'll get them a little piece of tune. We'll get them a little piece of new tune there.
Zero tolerance, I say. Run them pedophiles away. Hey, I'm tired and fed up, so I using this platform to condemn and fight out child molestation. Yes, repeating too many times on radio and TV. The dreadful crimes committing against we picking. The kids have no defense, alone in your company. You worse than Judas, you condemn already, you dirty child lusters, molesters. Put you on in the air and burn them away, hands in the air.
And we have a caller online.
Good morning and welcome.
Quite fine.
Yes, boss.
Sheldon.
Yes, sir.
There's the one, the name of the day I'm between Jackayan, the old egg and the fish belly and them kind of things.
Jackayan. That's what they used to call it?
That's what we used to call it in the 70s. Jackayan.
You sound like one of the fellas that used to go and set it.
No.
You see that laugh? You're one of them fellas that used to go and set it. Come on.
They want to pass them Saturday, but them fellas didn't play the cricket, man.
Yeah.
No, the game didn't come off Saturday, so it's going to be played this Saturday instead.
I know you pass, man.
Yeah, okay, man. Take it easy.
All right, boss. One love.
All right.
Jackayan. I used to say all kind of name. I used to say name chun, all kind of thing for that too. Fish belly, egg.
Well, it used to be a whole mixture of this kind of thing. Sometimes you have it setting for days, sometimes days, weeks. You know when it used to be done to again around the All Saints time?
Oh gosh, man.
Yes, around the All Saints.
Chemical warfare during All Saints.
Chemical warfare. That was the fun of it all, eh?
Come on, think I think our All Saints in the 1990s, I guess, some set egg.
Hey, that was the fun. We used to put that set egg about 2 weeks before. real kusume and thing and have a day. And just
he say we.
Yeah,
you're here finally. You hear he say we.
He warm when you take that from where you take that. He warm like it's heat to get. And you stay from on the hill and your pelt. My God. That was a
should have bust in your hand. Anyway, folks, this one is by Muscles, huh? He finally admit he used to do it.
Run them hands in the air and run them away, run them away, run them away. Make sure that them suckers pay, suckers pay, suckers pay. Hands in the air and burn them away, burn them away, burn them away. Send them in the jail to stay, jail to stay, jail to stay. Hands in the air and burn them away.
Yeah, that's Muscles 2018, one of his selections.
You know,
Muscles are here on the Spice Man. Yeah.
You know, Sheldon, I have a concern. Over the last week or so, I've been observing around the tongue of St. George's and even St. Andrews, Grenville, right? It's the school is over, but what you find is that there are a number of schools that have summer classes and so.
Mm-hmm.
But at a particular time, anytime after 12, 1, you see a number, all up to 3, 4 o'clock, you see a number of our young girls and boys loitering right around the... I mean...
I'll tell you something, Devon. That's the problem that most parents have had with the summer schools. The summer schools are going between 9 and 12, 9 and 1. So just 3 or 4 hours in most instances, between 9 and 1. So it's a bit difficult now because parents know there's some of them are still at work and so on. And therefore, the children dilly-dally. They know that mommy, daddy ain't going to be home until the normal time does be home. So they hanging around town, they making lime, they go in here, they finding themselves in wrong things. When they come out from the summer class, because the summer class now, that's the excuse to get out of the house to go.
Out there.
And then when they're there, they're out because the classes are finishing at 12, 1 o'clock, that sort of thing. But what I must say though is that on Sunday, I passed by members of the Cadet Corps looking real sharp going off to their camp. Yeah, and that looked nice. I passed a set down in the south, a good bit of them, down in the south of the island heading off to their camp. So I want to wish them all the best.
Yeah, they have the camp at SAS School, and so together with a contingent from St. Lucia and Trinidad and Tobago.
Wonderful.
So they all gather in, there to have, I think it's for 2 weeks.
They want to go and train in military tactics. Huh? No, I mean, I could train in different areas,
No comment.
Anti-terrorism.
No comment.
Anti-terrorism.
Yeah. So,
combat.
as I was saying, I just want to make that appeal to some of our parents, right, to pay more attention to our young ones, especially when we think that they are either in summer school or they're supposed to be back home, right? Too much of them are loitering around the St. George's, especially around the St. George's area, the mall, the bus terminus, 3, 4 o'clock in the evening when they should be home.
And then when the police go to move them and thing, all they want to vex with the
police. Yes, it's a problem, And so, and not only that, when the bus drivers want to charge them the full fare, and so then we complain. But if they are wrong, doing adult things and these type of things, then hey, there are a lot of things that can happen. Please, I just want us to be mindful. And this carnival season, it's all sorts of things happening.
And what we would say as well to some of the people that are putting these summer classes together, you probably need to look at the time frame a little closer.
Yes.
Look at the time frame a little. I know of some parents that had real serious concerns with sending their children, knowing that the children would be coming out at 12 and at 1 o'clock. Yeah, they know that the children coming out at that particular time, and it's what happens between that time and when they get off from work. That 4 hours there, that 3 or 4 hours there before they get off from work and get home, or 5 hours before they get off and get home. And so it has been a concern to many of the parents. That's why some of the parents have not sent their children to the summer school. They find it easier to leave them with a relative and so on. And folks, remember, leaving with a relative and all kind of thing, just know which relative you're leaving your children with, male as well as female. Don't think you have to look after your girl child special and you ain't looking after your boy child. Know who you're leaving your children with. Yeah? It's not just something that's happening in Grenada, it's worldwide. Know who you're leaving your children with. Yeah? Know who you're leaving your children with. And you know, this morning I was listening to something there. And sometimes things just happen for a certain reason. And this morning, you know, the internet was down. So I know that it may have been difficult. I'm not sure if people in the diaspora got Shaggy's program this morning. But one person was speaking about a situation and making this thing look, in my view, blowing it out of proportion. And if I were someone sitting on the subway or a bus in the US or in the UK or in Canada or somewhere, and I heard, or in a taxi or even at home on business, wherever, and I heard that sort of thing, I wouldn't set foot in Grenada from how that person was speaking, giving the impression that we have a bunch of mad people walking up and down the country.
I listened to
looking to just like a bunch of armed mad people walking. Listen, we have people who have their individual mental issues and so within our communities. The same as the United Kingdom, the same as Devon. You've been in New York, and anybody in New York could tell you that. You go on a bus sometime and you meet a schizophrenic. You go on a train and you meet people that are doing all kind of weird things. You meet people, especially during the winter months, when some of the homeless and so they go down on the train and they ride on the train, because that is sometimes the only way to get some warmth.
Definitely.
So you enter and you find you're smelling this thing. When you look, you see a person there. Sometimes something wrong with some part of the body and thing, and they just sit down there. Or you meet a person that acting funny, you see they jumping up and they talking to themselves and all this sort of thing. So it's something that they meet in the US all the time.
Every block you walk,
yeah,
either Brooklyn or Manhattan,
you meet them on the street.
You meet them right there.
You end up trapped with them on the train sometime.
Yeah.
You end up trapped with them on the bus sometime. Not always the homeless, but a lot of the time the schizophrenic people, the people that are just talking to themselves and they all over the place with their mind and that kind of thing. So to try to give the impression that we have a bunch of mad people in Grenada all over, walking the road with weapons and that kind. I mean, come on, man. Sometimes you have to think about the impression that you're putting out there of your own country, because it's just not true. Yes, we do have
that,
you do have the one or two people that have their mental issues that need to be inside. You do have the one or two. And generally, once they're reported, you see the team come and they get them and they bring them up for them to get a medication and calm them down. And so after they keep them for a period of time and they realize these people could re-assimilate, they put them back out. Yeah, but to say that is a situation like you have to be afraid to walk in Grenada. I mean, come on, man. There's Grenada. We just send our little 3- and 4-year-old children. We just put them on a bus and send them down Grenada. You send them up countryside, all kind of thing, and they reach in safe. No children doesn't go missing. Nobody can say somebody go crazy and kill somebody's child and all this kind of thing like that. This is still a safe country. And when people go and give that impression of Grenada out there, it's a serious. Sometimes we have to think before we talk, eh?
And how
sometimes
often,
we have to think before we talk.
How often you find here in Grenada that a person with mental illness attack or hurt somebody in a wrong? You rarely hear of that. Yes, it does happen, right?
As it happens in every country on earth.
You understand? But you know the impression that you give, the way you bring it out, as if every day you wake up and you're in St. George's or St. Andrews, you see crazy people walking with knife and want to, you know, they want to harm people. And so, no, that is not true, right? That is just blowing it out of proportion, exaggerating. We don't have that type of behavior in our country. We are a peaceful, a loving country, quiet. Yeah, we're not perfect. And so, right?
And this is not an attack on anybody. This is not an attack on the individual. All we're saying is that sometimes you have to be careful with the message and the image that you're putting of your country out there, because you might just be putting out one that's going to scare people from wanting to come. I mean, some people, they're well off enough, they find that they don't need nobody to be coming in, and so they have their pensions coming in from different countries and all kind of things. So as far as they're concerned, they're good. They have property that they're renting, all this thing, and they still have money in the bank. So they're good. They could talk like that, and they don't really care what happens if Tuesday fall on a Friday. They ain't really care. But there are lots of people that depend on these things. Lots of people that depend on cruise ship visitors. You don't want cruise ship visitors coming to Grenada and then say, hearing a story like that, and they were on the way to Grenada and then they decide, why me ain't going there again? But that place song like it's in chaos. I ain't going there.
Or even if the ship comes here, they stay on board.
Yeah.
You don't want that. You want people to come out and enjoy themselves, spend the money, the economy keeps moving. That is what you want. Hey, today happens to be the 100th birthday of former president and freedom fighter Nelson Mandela.
Need to be 100?
100 years today.
Nelson Rohila Mandela?
Yes, Mandela.
I ain't even attempting to pronounce the rest of name.
Too much.
I ain't even going and try to attempt to pronounce the rest of names.
Example, I mean, for the black people, or for people, generally, a population around the world, in terms of, the struggle and the patience. You can imagine one man being locked up for over 25 years, and so for in a particular period, and when he comes out, instead of looking for some way to get back of who did what to him, just sat peacefully and eventually become the president of South Africa. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing that the tone and the turn that he took in his life, in terms of, different, after one type of struggle, you move to another. And he was just an example for men and women all over the world, to follow.
Wonder where's Zingo? Somebody, where's Zingo?
Where is Zingo?
Somebody
Zingo here?
Want to know.
Are you coming?
Nobody is seeing Zingo. People, yes, we want to know. Nobody is seeing Zingo. He here, man. He's somewhere around. Yeah, don't be surprised he pop up. But he's somewhere around. Good morning, Mr. Watts. We do hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful day today, and that everything is going your way. Depot. Yeah, man, I see your day.
Where Michelle? Where Michelle? Michelle, man. Where Michelle?
Devon, another issue, it's now 29 minutes after 11 o'clock. Another issue that I realize the NDC is trying their very best to manipulate and to twist. It's the issue of Imani trainees. And they keep coming up with these lame brain statements. Again, Senator Redhead got caught in it this morning. I've heard all of the NDC mouthpieces, the Sunday program, Dum Dum, all of the others. Hey, that's the first time we said Dum Dum for the week, Yeah, we had to fix that.
That's a good. That's a good.
I wonder if that's a good or a bad thing. I don't know. Anyway, but first time we said Dum Dum for the week. But let's take this call and I'll come back to the issue of Imanis.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Let me see if you will come on. Morning. Okay, the phone that sounds like a butt dial. The phone maybe just call. They didn't know they call, yeah. The issue of the Imani trainees. I'm hearing the NDC trying to say now that, the government broke and government had money to pay the trainees and all this sort of nonsense. That is not the issue. The issue here is simply this. Their period in this level of their training has been completed. Their training, this period in the level of their training has been completed. It doesn't mean that their training has ended. Yeah? You're playing cricket and you finish your first innings. That don't mean you don't have a second innings. Yeah, you finish your first innings, so they finish their first innings. So it's time to open up the second innings. And from day one, we have been saying to Imani trainees the following. And I would know, because I was one of the people saying it to them, that at the end of the first part, they have different pathways they can go into. And I remember the present permanent secretary, that's Mr. Andal, Kevin Andal, used to do a presentation on that where he said there are different roadways, there are different pathways. Whether you go into owning your own small business, because it cannot and it should not, and we can't encourage that. Some people would like to encourage it for political reasons. I would not encourage it. You cannot be spending 5, 6, 7, 8 years training, doing hairdressing inside somebody's salon and being paid by the government of Grenada. It cannot happen. It shouldn't happen. What could happen is if you have trained, you got your level 1, your level 2, your level 3 certification, then you train to your level 4, your level 5 or whatever, But there must come a point where you break free. Yeah? That is not what's happening the end of this month. It's not a situation the end of this month, government issuing letters to all the trainees and say you're going home. But they are transitioning into the different areas. It's either you continue in your certification, whichever way. You might be doing plumbing, you might be doing electrical, you might be doing hairdressing, you might be doing barbering, you might be doing office administration, you might be doing various areas. You might be doing culinary arts, you might be doing agriculture, whichever area it is. You're going to move from level 1, level 2, level 3 on to the next level of certification. Or you may have already attained enough skill to move into owning and starting your own business. Yeah? So it may be that you're going to that level. It may be that if a hairdressing place has you and you're being paid by the government of Grenada and they have you for 3 years, 4 years, the reason that they still have you is because you're capable. So it's between two things. It's between they take you on permanently, which is what the ministry has been encouraging. And from early o'clock, the ministry has been doing that. There are many, many persons. And that's why I say sometimes the people who benefit are the ones who don't talk. For many, many years, this government has been speaking to different people and encouraging them to take the trainees off of the Imani program and take them permanently. Many businesses have done that. Some businesses have taken the trainees we send there permanently and then take some more trainees. So they hire the ones that we had sent as trainees, they took them off Imani and they took them permanently and then took a 1 or 2 more trainees because they realize now it is a developmental program and they're getting good people through the program. So they took some permanently and they take some others afterwards under the program again. We have had that discussion. It's not a brand new discussion with businesses to share the 50-50 with government, because I can't see that a person is so valuable to your business but government must pay fully for the person. I don't see that, because obviously if you have budgeted a certain amount of money for the program and many of the businesses have decided that yes, we're going to pay 50% to keep the person, because the other option is that we send the person somewhere else that's willing to pay 50%, yeah, and you end up with nobody, then you have to hire somebody that you have to pay full amount. So it's easier for the businesses to pay 50%, maintain the person there until they are able to take the person on full time, or until the person goes to another area of either training to get a further level of certification, or start their own business, or go to university, or whatever it is. Yeah? So it is until that particular point. But it is not a situation where the government is getting ready or looking to send home all Imani trainees. They said this just before election. And this is why I'm trying to understand how some people could buy into this stupidness again. They said it just before, they said it last year, that NNP was just waiting to send home all the trainees just before Christmas last year. They were spreading that rumor around. We answered it here and other places it was answered. So the trainees were not going home last year. They came as soon as Christmas was finishing. Even during the Christmas, they started the rumor, and then they amplified it come January this year that NNP about to send home all those trainees and them. It was answered again. Immediately on coming into office, they started that rumor again. Immediately on coming into office. After March 13th, the first week, the NDC started to circulate this thing that, okay, NNP win now, they go in and send them all those Imani training, and people bought into it again. I mean, how much times you could buy into the same piece of fake information? It proved false in 2016. It proved false in 2017. It proved false twice already in 2018. My goodness, you're still coming back with that again? I mean, it just shows that they believe that some people are so fickle and feeble-minded that they would say anything and repeat it like Goebbels. Yeah, repeat it enough and people will start to believe it. That if they repeat it enough, they won't get some trainees to start to believe it. Yeah, the only factor that is in place right now that's going to cause a trainee to end up out of the program is the trainee. Because they can't expect government to continue maintaining them in a program if they are not producing. If you're there to get certification and after 3 years you're still at the level 1 certification, you haven't moved up to level 2 or level 3. If you have to be changed from place of attachment to place of attachment to place of attachment, in other words, the problem is not necessarily where you're attached. It seems that there's a problem with you. Can't blame government for that. That's you, the individual. Yeah? So you have to look at some level of personal development. You cannot enter into the job market since the 1990s or the early 2000s with 2 subjects, and in 2018 be applying for a job again with the same 2 subjects. Something is wrong. You can't be doing that. You can't be 25. Yeah, 25 years old. Which means you leave school how much years already?
At least 6 or 7 years.
You know that you only have 1 subject and you make absolutely no attempt to gain another subject. I love to help people who I see trying to help themselves, you know. I love to help, me personally, I love to help people I see trying to help themselves. But when I see people making absolutely no attempt, you don't understand. These things affect a lot of things, you know. I often say to some people that going to see whoa. Oh, goodness. Boss, you and Granley go had a conversation, eh? Yeah, anyhow. Yeah. I fail to understand how some people don't see certain things. For instance, and let's talk seriously to some of the youth here right now. You want to go to the United States. You want to apply for a visa. But when you go to apply for a visa, when they check your place of employment, they see about 10 places of employment. You ain't getting no visa. Let me say it again. You're not getting no visa because you don't show stability. When you go in Barbados, they're looking to see if it's a stable person that will return to their country, you know. Their country, in other words, return to Grenada and not stay in the United States. If they see that you work 10 places, and each of the places you work for a 1 week, a 2 weeks, a 3 days, and you're brave and you're putting that down, I work all these places and that kind of thing. When they see that, they say this is not a stable person. This is a person who has no ties to tie them down. They have no stability. And therefore, this is a person that we will refuse to give a visa. Sometimes you all go and you don't realize why you get refused a visa. You're studying bank account and police record. You are being refused the visa because you all are not applying in the proper way. And nobody is saying lie, but know how you're living your life in the first place so that you don't have to lie. Don't lie for them because they go find out. Yeah? But they want to put, I work in this place 2 weeks, I work in that one 1 week, I work in this one, then I was unemployed for 6 months here, and I work here, and I work here, and I work here, and they bring down, and feel in more places they put on the visa application. Or even a job application makes you look better. No, it don't make you look better. You look better if you work in one place for 5 years. You look better if you work in one place for 2 years. Or even for 1 year. You just left school and you work in one place for 1 year. You look much better than the person that work in 20 places for 2 weeks and a 1 week and a 3 days and that sort of thing. Yeah? Because you show a certain level of stability. So even those people who are in the Imani program now, and then they just find, me I want to work in this place, me I want to work in that one, transfer me to this one, transfer me to that one. Go and put that on a visa application and see what happens with you. Put that on a job application and see what happens with you. And you cannot have joined a program with one subject and come out the program with the same one subject. And anybody that's listening to me now and heard me speak as the parliamentary secretary in that ministry could say the same thing I'm telling you now is the same thing I said to everybody back in 2013, 2014, 2015, and 2016. It's the same thing I said. You have to have some sort of improvement in yourself. That's what I was saying yesterday. Some people spend so much time minding other people's business, they could have spent that time improving themselves. In the evening time, there are evening classes at GBSS has evening classes. English, mathematics, I think the sciences, other areas. Sign up for evening class.
Convent, PVC.
Make the sacrifice. The same way somebody is sacrificing right now for all the wrong things to go to every single fete, every single part of the island. And not only that, they're buying data, you know, to make sure that you could see the live streaming when they're out in the parties and these kind of thing. But they wouldn't spend that time to go and gain an additional subject. Gain an additional subject or two. Clare Harbour pleading, they're giving you, or imagine Clare Harbour is giving people health insurance. In other words, if you go to the dentist and so you pay part, Clare Harbour's insurance is going to pay part. You have problems with your eye, you pay part, Clare Harbour is going to pay part. You have to do some sort of surgery and so on, there'll be a percentage that the insurance is going to meet and you would have to find the difference and that sort of thing. A surgery, you know. And all you have to have is English language to go and get that job. And many of you cannot go for it. And some of you been out of school 10, 15 years. So you tell me in that space of time you couldn't go and get that one subject. September, all them classes and them better be filled up. The time you spend minding people business, spend it in an English book. Learn what is a synonym. Learn what is a verb, a noun, and a pronoun. Yeah? Go and learn something. Instead of, I see Devon pass and I find he walking, he should be driving. I see they putting up a look, they changing the roof on the house boy. Like he sell a 2 pound of weed. Find the time and use it positively for your self-development. Don't buy into this thing about, oh, government has to do this and government has to do that for you. Opportunities are there, but some of you can't take it because you don't improve yourself to the level to be able to take it. We have a caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Quite fine.
Alright, your partner here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this morning I'm coming into Lansdowne right by the bus terminal there.
Mm-hmm.
Inside by way you got to go and pay for housing there. I think we need to get some poison and things for those rats on the side there, boy. The amount I was in that yard there this morning when I passing.
Give me the exact area again. Right by
Lansdowne Gap by way
oh, by Housing Authority, yeah.
Housing Authority.
Mm-hmm.
All the yard there this morning when rain come down this morning and the whole place they fested with the rodents.
Okay, I'll tell Vector Control.
Alright.
Okay, no problem, my brother.
Alright.
Yeah, I have to give Vector Control. There's somebody that's supposed to call me as soon as we're done. I hope you're standing by here because you had a call because I had to make a run very far to come back down to town to a meeting and so I had to go to one out of town to come back down. So you had to call me, yeah? Yeah, nice. Yeah, so we're saying, and we're saying this because it is the truth, is reality. You have to try and improve yourself. And the time you spend macroing people business, minding other people business, if you spend that time on personal development, then you would see there's a lot more that you as the individual can achieve. You the individual, I don't even know if my neighbors have vehicles. I can't tell the vehicle number. It has some people that can tell you every vehicle number. That's so and so car. And he walking so. And he there with this one.
Or the horn too.
Yeah.
The horn, they know them horns and them.
Yeah, by the time you hear peep, they can tell you who car.
But now you say peep, you have the vehicles now, all of them have similar horn. But they could pinpoint and tell you, boy, there is a man vehicle. You know, certain things that we pay attention to, details and so, are not necessary. Right? But what is necessary for us in our everyday lives? And so we don't pay attention to.
Pay details to our book. Yeah. And listen,
exactly.
it doesn't matter what age you are. You may be in your 30s or your 40s right now, and you may be seeing your child's book from primary school or so. Nothing is wrong with taking up your child English book and revising.
And going to have some fun with it. Yeah.
Nothing is wrong with going over your son's or your daughter's secondary school book with English or mathematics or so, and trying to work along with them. So even if you don't understand, you get to understand, and so on. Both of you could do it as a team. Nothing is wrong with going next year and writing CXC along with your son or your daughter. Nothing is wrong with that. What wrong with that?
That's motivation.
Because for me now, me and my son beat me. I know.
I want to prove something.
I had to keep the high score. He had a real work hard to beat me. So it had to be a competition. Nothing is wrong with that because it opens up other opportunities for you. So the people who have been spreading these rumors about the Imani program, yeah, that's the kind of things you need to be telling to the trainees, not trying to tell them, oh, NNP fool all your NNP this, NNP, because they're not being sent home at the end of the month. And you know why they keep doing these things? They do it with Imani, they do it with the bushing, they do it with all these programs.
The school book program.
The school book program. They do it with Imani, and then when the Imanis do not go home at the end of July, they start to thump the chest and say, you see, we talk about it, they back off, boy. They ain't send all you home. Because they want to seem as though there's some heroes and some champion. Because they're actually, really statistically, they're basically nobodies in the context of things. Yeah? But they want to seem as though they are somebody. So they make the statement and they go out there. Oh, they're sending home them Imani, they're sending home them Imani. And then when July ends and the Imani receive their stipend, and then August comes and they continue training or they start their small business or whatever, and September comes and they continue, and they will come to them and say, but if I didn't talk back in June, July for all you would have go home, you know. It's me all you have to be grateful to, not the government. We that save all you. That is what they're trying to do. Yeah? That is what they are trying to do.
Lame strategy. Just, you know.
Yeah. And they continue doing these kind of things. Again, they would come and they would try that with the bushing program. Now, here's what's happening with the bushing program. When the debushing program starts again, there's going to be a little different format to how the program is managed, how the program is organized in different areas. It's not going to just be somebody come, they get a contract, they have this area, they do that. There's going to be a little more structure to the entire thing so that you get value for money. Putting that structure in place takes time. But once it is in place, you would see the difference in what is happening under the program, including that you're going to start seeing some of the people under that program also working on farms, assisting farmers with clearing our land, clearing cocoa. There are a lot of cocoa and so on that could be productive that not productive right now.
Lots.
There are also people who usually work in the debushing program that are in the seaweed program right now, getting rid of the seaweed on some beaches and so. So there are persons that are active in the program. You see the saying last week again. They come with a story about the people who pave in the road. Oh, the people who pave in the road, they're going on strike because they ain't getting the money and all kind of thing. Well, I know the people in St. Andrew know that they was lying. People in St. George know. Because when you look around, you see the road was paving all over. They were all over St. George. I saw them on Scott Street. I saw them on Carenage. I saw them all over. All over the town of St. George and even down Granans.
And one of the things too, you may not be seeing them on the major roads like the eastern or the western side as thing, but when you go inside of the villages and so to see the excellent job that these guys and girls are doing when it comes to the paving and maintaining our roads, man. The persons in the communities, they know. They will call and say, right, they have better roads and so they can come out of their house comfortable and walk their road. They are seeing that. I mean, so if you can't, I don't know. All right. I know in St. Andrews, I've been seeing it.
Indeed. Hey, sir, how are you doing? Yes, so 4407377, 4407377. Let me touch a little one here for you. Because I see like my partner had to step out for a little while.
As Grenadians living out in a foreign land, to some at home it kinda seems like we miles apart. But I live each day hoping that you will understand that Grenada really lies so close to our hearts. Hey, I know here at home some have the feelings. They say we leave this nation and run, subject to a foreign living, so we no longer daughters or sons. But never mind where we live out of foreign, Europe or not America, is the sound of the diaspora calling. We want to know we love, we sweet Grenada. Hey, I said the diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We want to know that we love, we Grenada bad. Diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We love Grenada even though we may live abroad. It's time that we come together, man. We have this nation to build. We got to see ourselves like brothers and sisters. Let's put shoulders.
Yeah, some people find we pontificating these days. No, we're not pontificating. We want people to improve themselves. If each individual works towards improving themselves, we can improve our country overall. Yeah, if each person, imagine this, if when Devon had left school, right, when he finished with school and thing, he just stayed there and he didn't get involved in anything. Yeah, he didn't get involved in the militia, he didn't get involved in anything. He would not have had the knowledge that he has right now and achieved the things that he has achieved in life already. Devon on the train outside of Grenada.
Oh, yeah.
We ain't going to go into details today. Well, that's our next program. We ain't going to go into details. But it's just a message to a lot of our young people out there that there's quite a lot that you can learn. Mm-hmm. And you can't just remain at the same level your whole life. Improve, nah?
You have to improve.
Some people going for the driver's license, they wouldn't go for extra subject. Yeah. Pile of you. You go and you get your driver's out. If you see them, they're rushing, they're up and down the road. Extra driver's license. You don't have an extra subject. So you could drive, but you still can't get a job. Yes, because you don't have the subject.
And you need to have a job to maintain that driving habit.
But that's the thing.
Right.
So then you have a driver's license that you're paying for on a yearly basis.
And you don't have a job.
You don't have a job.
Who's paying for that?
What sense? Come on. What sense does that make? So you want a driver's license so when Carnival come, you could go and get a rental vehicle so you could mash it up and end up owing thousands of dollars. Yeah, that's what you want. You understand? I mean, I can't understand. I cannot understand how some people could just not own some movement.
I mean, just stay one place. I mean, you know, just like a political organization, I know. Right? NDC remained the same political party from the time 1987 up to this point, with just some little minor changes and so you know, that kind of thing. But I mean, they have not moved. They have never, only once, NDC have won an election outright. Once in 2008, and we know what was the cause of that. All other times they're just there. They were not. They're not a significant, I mean, thing in Grenadian history. They just remain one place and they still stick. They ain't doing nothing to improve. Only start talk, same old people. No change. As new blood comes in to make change, they kick them out. You understand? I mean, come on. It's just, I mean, when you study NDC, you remember some of our people that just decide to just stay one place all the time and just talk and don't improve themselves. Yeah.
Meanwhile, remember that office opening today? While them could talk.
Yeah, we opening offices.
We opening office today in New Hampshire. So the new national party, let me say it again, the new national party, the NNP, new national party. Nice people, right?
Yeah, which has become an institution.
Yes.
It's institutionalized within the Grenada community.
Right. And it's going to be opening an office. One of its
sub-offices.
Sub-office in New Hampshire. So that office will be serving both St. George Northwest and St. George Northeast. So both Northwest and Northeast going to be at that one office.
So at any one point in time, you could see the Prime Minister and you could see Honorable Tobias.
Toby, good morning, brother.
In one place at the same time. You just happen, you may just see both of them. You never know. That's a beautiful thing. I mean, you see, and that's the example NMP is setting, right? Set up an institution so the people can be serviced, not just persons within NNP, but Grenadian. That is why NNP has been undefeated in the last how many years? You understand? Because they know what the people need. They know how to reach out and touch the people. Yeah, they know how to let the people come in and be part.
And that's why you say you revise and you revamp how you do the bushing program. If it's been done like that since the days of Sir Eric Matthew Gary, my goodness, we in 2018, it's time to make some changes to it. Yeah? But it's amazing, all of a sudden, these people are suddenly the champions of the people under the bushing program.
Oh, yeah.
The same people that they call NNPite stooges. The same people that they call lazy.
And needy and
greedy.
And they can't
do
nothing
only
else.
Waiting on the bushing contract. All of a sudden, they are the champions of these people who need a contract or go on the bushing contract and that kind of thing.
A bunch of people. But if all
the
you
same
feel...
people who just come out their house and cuss the people who doing the debushing program when they're in front of the place and so on. The same people who just say the worst, most nasty, or the illiterate and all sorts of things about people under the debushing program are now the people saying that, oh, bring it out. Because when it does happen, they want to be able to come out and say, you see, we that fight for that for all you. Yeah, we that make them bring back the debushing program for all you. They didn't have it. We that make them bring it back. We that make them put the debushing program out for all you. That sort of thing. These are the same people. Don't close your eye on them or your ears. Listen to them carefully and watch them. Because these are the same people less than 4 months ago was saying that the people under the debushing is a bunch of lazy NNPites. A bunch of greedy people. These are the same people, but now they want to be champions. These are the same people who just at the beginning of this year was saying that the NNP government get rid of the the NNP government get rid of the book program.
Yeah, they were saying that. All now they're saying it.
These are the same people saying that government get rid of the book program. Simply because they don't like the fact that they've been exposed for their lies. Because people go in and get books under the program. People are going and they're getting their books under the program.
What? I will give you an example, Sheldon, about this book. My daughter goes to SAS, right? And her class had to go for book distribution. And she went there and she basically got all her books, right? And she went alone. She didn't go with no parents, and so she went to the school, brought what she had to brought back those that she had from Form 3 going to Form 4, and got basically all her books. You understand? I mean, so I can understand when I hear people talking about, oh, the school books program, they close it down and you don't have books. And I mean, come on, right? I mean, it's not perfect, right? All the students wouldn't get all their books and so, but there are books available in all the schools and so for the students, right? I mean, there are those who need to be replaced. Government has told you that, look, they have to spend $2.5 or so million, right? Both to replace and to bring in new editions and so, because it is an ongoing something. Education is not just for today, or for tomorrow only, but continuously. We have to prepare for our children and our children in the future. That's what education is all about. Understand? So
but it works. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They're upset. So all of a sudden, they are the ones that are championing the cause of a program that they say didn't exist.
Yeah.
They went on the platform. They put out loudspeaker. They say it from ads, everything. They said to you all that this program does not exist. So all of a sudden, they're trying to champion the program.
But you see,
all of a sudden, they just had to twist them out on everything. Imanis was stupid to join the program, all kind of thing. All of a sudden, now you're interested in Imani. Come on, you're hypocrite.
The school books program, to them, it's like a flagship, right? I mean, they come out and say, oh, they introduce it and blah, blah, blah. Okay, yes, it was introduced during NDC's time to that magnitude, right? But nothing is wrong with it. NNP came in, they have not made any big significant changes. One significant change that was made is that, look, it's a policy that, look, if you can afford to buy your school books, then you have to do it, right? You cannot,
I could say that one word before we go.
Yeah.
They're too hypocrite.
More than that. They're too hypocrite.
Folks, that's all the time we've got for today. Indeed, we'll be back with you tomorrow, God's willing.
Sheldon will be back with you tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, Devon is out for tomorrow. He has to go and handle business.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's a funeral of my nephew, the police officer that drowned in St. Andrews.
Yeah.
And so a couple of weeks ago, and he's been laid to rest tomorrow, please the Lord. So I'll be going and show my last respects and everything, and to all those who to the family and all those well wishers. Hey.
Yeah, man, I know it goes.
Care.
Folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. Remember, this evening, from 5 p.m., it's going to be in New Hampshire. That's going to be the opening of the new National Party sub-office for St. George Northeast. and St. George Northwest. So that's the Honorable Tobias Clement and the Honorable Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell.
Well, that is service free. You're getting service east and west.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
I service Johnson.
Yeah, service.
Now you ain't watch that movie. Folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. It's been wonderful being here with you. And indeed, it is always a pleasure keeping you company. All right, my name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
And in everything you say and do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you.
And not about you.
Love you all unconditionally. Let's go off with a tune here by Doggies, his 2018 composition.
Cruise going down aboard the all-new Dolly C. Sunday, July 29th. SNS Promotion says get on board for the biggest and craziest cruise of the year with Jam King, Shopri, Boise, Inspector, and Talpri. Musical Invasion by Black Storm, Joey T, Ben Jr., and Sub Jr. Together with Short Leg. Tickets cost $50 with a complimentary drink for everyone. Both says 1 p.m. from the Coronage. For tickets and more info, contact Chucky's Bar, opposite the bus terminal, Shortman in Gregmore, or call 407-1111. Sponsors: Brighton and Miners, Clark's Coat, Amazing Rum Liqueur, Grenada Brewers Limited, Sunshine Promotions, Hippos Tires, Andy Johnson Auto Parts, Skies Construction Company Limited, Carriacou, and the Travelers Bar. So Sunday, July 29th, we're aboard the Dolly C. Amazing. This one is gonna be memorable. So get your tickets now.
As Grenadians living out in a foreign land, to some it only kinda seems like we married